Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an article titled, Why You're Not Attracted to Nice Guys. You're not crazy, you're onto something. And guys, this article is written by a woman, and she's going to share her very long views and opinions on the subject of why the girls aren't attracted to nice guys, and pretty much making out to be justifying why they all go for the bad boy types. And I'm doing this, guys, just as an example to show you the mindset that's out there. Because many of you guys either do dating and relationships right now, and this is something that's puzzled you for a long time, or you did in the past and you're done, but you still were burned by a lot of gals you liked because they were going for, you were a good guy, but they were going for the scumbags, essentially, or guys that were you just wanted to punch every time you saw them, those types. And you know what I'm talking about here. We all know those types. And she's pretty much justifying why she and the girls like her go for these types of guys, and pretty much bashing nice guys. Now, I'll be fair here and say that she does make some points here and there about the nice guys. And nice guys, there's nice guys and there's nice guys. There's a nice guy that's a friendly, easygoing guy, cool, fun to be around, all that. And then there's what the girls call nice guys. These are the guys that essentially try way too hard with the girls they like, try way too hard to impress them, be super accommodating, super easy, whatever they want, essentially. They pretty much do whatever the women want. They put them on pedestals, kiss their butts. They, when the woman tests them or shows any kind of disrespect, they just accept it because, God forbid, they upset her. That type of stuff, you know? And they put always her needs first and his needs dead last. That type of guy, that turns women off like you wouldn't believe. But ultimately, what's always funny is these same gals that bash nice guys, ultimately, a lot of times they're the ones that say, I want a guy that does this, 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 and this. But that's what the nice guys do, and not what the bad boys do, but they choose the bad boys. And these same gals are the ones that will pick the bad boys and think they can actually get those guys to settle down and be loyal and not cheat on them and be there for them and all that, and then cry when they don't. And so it's a never-ending roller coaster. And so I'm doing this to show you guys, well, for some of you guys, what you're not missing anymore because you're done. Or for the other guys, to clear some of these things up. And I'm going to point out BS where I go. But at the end of the day, for those of you who live long enough, experienced enough, you can't make women happy. You do one thing, then they complain. You do the other thing, they complain that you weren't doing the other thing. And round we go. And ultimately, in my opinion, I think she's just trying to justify the fact that she likes bad boys and low lifes and all that. So it starts off, again, the title is Why You're Not Attracted to Nice Guys. Starts, have you ever been on a date with a guy who was nice, but you didn't feel anything? You thought, what's wrong with me? Why can't I like him? Sounds like things I've heard from different girls. Women have a strong sense of intuition about things like this. We can tell when something's off. A woman with a high sense of self-worth is even more aware something is wrong below the surface of this nice guy. A woman with low self-worth will agonize over why she isn't interested and feel guilty about it. She stresses about how to tell him she isn't feeling it, how to break it off. A woman with a strong sense of self-worth won't feel guilty. She'll just trust her instincts and run. And mind you, the strong self-worth, she's going to run from a nice guy. She's not talking about a girl with strong self-worth is going to run from a guy who's bad for her. Isn't that interesting? Run from the nice guy, but run to the guy that's obviously going to treat you like crap, guaranteed, because these types pretty much are the same. There are nice guys and there are good men. There's a big difference. Nice guys have no sense of self-worth. They're low-value men in disguise. Ouch. So what are the traits of these low-value nice guys? Now she's going to go into this. And this is from the woman's perspective. It says, nice guys tell you how nice they are. Nice guys talk a lot about how nice they are. They make sure you know all about their good deeds. Their dating profiles often talk about how they treat a woman, or their social media feeds are full of memes about how a woman should be treated. It's like he's advertising. You can feel the desperation. They might think it'll attract women, but it does the opposite. Well, she's right about that. It will turn them off because the guy's trying too hard. And you know what? These guys actually very likely are the types that would treat women well. I mean, in terms of the old-fashioned gentlemanly ways, but also a lot of other things. But that turns them off. It's ridiculous. Oh, he's treating me like a human being? Ugh, I'm turned off. Oh, this guy treats me like a piece of garbage. Oh, I want to F him. Good men don't use words. They use actions. They don't try to convince you they're nice. They show you over time. Well, okay, I'm for the actions thing. I went on a few dates with a man who made damn sure I knew how he was taking care of his ailing mother. Yes, that's admirable, but not something I need to talk about for 2 hours on a first date. Nice guys talk too much about their niceness. A good man is humble. Nice guys beat around the bush. A nice guy won't come out and tell you exactly what he wants. He's afraid of rejection, so he frames it in a way that he won't feel that sting should come. Translation, nice guys don't get to the point. This is something I tell a lot of you guys that do dating relationships not to avoid. If you're interested in a girl, go for it. Ask her out. Express your interest in a way that's not going to cause you any problems. And I don't mean girls in the workplace. Don't ever do that with a girl you work with, by the way. I'm sure many of you guys understand that nowadays because of the M2 movement. But nice guys will be friends with a girl for months before actually getting to the point. Turns them off because that's a lack of confidence. It's a lack of going for what you want. Women want guys that go for what they want. But at the end of the day, just because a guy takes a while to ask her out, does that mean he's a bad guy? Of course not. It shows at least that he's a good guy. It says some cocky jackass. But they'll take the cocky jackass any day and then complain about how the cocky jackass just won't quite settle down or he cheats on her, etc., etc. She says, for example, instead of just asking you on a date and making clear it's a date, he'll say something like, let me know if you want to hang out sometime. Maybe we can go out to eat soon. You can text me anytime. Here's my number. See? Now again, does this make this guy a bad guy? Of course not. But it's not going to turn her on. He should just get right to the point. Instead of taking the ball and running with it, he throws it back in your court. Nice guys don't clarify their intent. They tap dance around the subject, hoping to get lucky. They're flirting with you. Unless you're not okay with that, and they totally weren't. They're desperate to avoid accountability for their choices. Are you really actually saying that? I'll read that again. They're desperate to avoid accountability for their choices. I think most of you guys know the joke about women and accountability at this point. I find it funny that she's pointing at these guys. They have no confidence that you'll say yes, so they feel like they have a better shot they trick you or drop breadcrumbs. They're not trying to trick you in a malicious, mean kind of way. They're just obviously not very sure of themselves. It doesn't make them bad guys, for goodness sake. They want to be vague, so if you don't like what they're offering, then they never meant it in that way. It's not their fault that you read them wrong. But if you do like what they're offering, then that's what they meant all along, and they're oh so clever and charming for it. She's just looking for an excuse to pretty much hate on nice guys, good guys. Ranging from good guys to really nice guys, the stereotypical nice guys you want to slap. Just come out and admit it. You like bad boys, you like lowlives, you like scumbags. Just say it, but she's not. I see tons of posts where women want to know how to get a guy to take the ball back, or what to do with a shy guy. How about recognizing that this guy can't lead and the only ball he can play is a dodgeball? Ouch. See what she said about leading? Your relationship guys, only the masculine ones, they want to lead. Okay, they're usually effeminist. But most gals that are remotely feminine, they like a guy to take charge, to lead, to plan shit. It's not that hard. That's what men used to do. Until all these stupid-ass movies. It's not that he's shy, he's not interested. Or he lacks confidence. Do you really want to date a guy who doesn't have the balls to ask you out? See? I told you guys, she does make some points in here, and I'm always fair, and when somebody's making a point, I'll give them credit where credit's due, but I know it's below the surface here. But this is a good one to see what's the mindset, the roller coaster, what's going on in the heads, and the emotions, but also some valid points that I quite often point out in my videos. If you don't have the balls to ask her out, then she's not interested. So, for you dating guys, have the balls to ask her out and get to the freaking point. High-value women are well aware of the low-value behaviors of nice guys. Nice guys have a ton of women burn me stories. Not much gives away a nice guy more than his constant talk of how women burned him. He's been lied to, cheated on, and underappreciated. Watch out, you may be the next woman he puts down when he doesn't get his way. Another tip, guys, don't go around your dates talking about how you were burned here and burned there. That's going to show, oh, this guy's always getting kicked to the curb by women. He's not much of a catch. He's not much of a guy in demand. So why do I want him? Even if he's handsome and seemed funny up until this point. So don't talk about that crap, guys. A lot of guys do. She's not going to feel sorry for you. She's going to think you're ridiculous. But again, does this mean he's a bad guy? Of course not. But in their eyes, low value. His bitterness is obvious, and he makes you uncomfortable. He may even make comments about how women love bad boys, and maybe he would do better with women if he beat them or treated them like crap. Actually, he probably would. There was a guy who frequented my local watering hole who'd buy women drinks and then get pissed when they didn't make a fuss about it or offer up their phone number. Note number 2 above. He never asked a woman for her number. He felt entitled because he was being nice. Yeah, there's always that guy that goes places and buys everybody drinks and buys everybody food and expects this, expects that. Don't be that guy. A woman would walk into a bar and he'd tell me what a gold digger she was, or call her a flat-out B. He spent hundreds of dollars buying them drinks, hoping that was enough. Some guys never get it. By the way, one ever asks, says, aren't you going to buy me a drink? Say, no. How about you buy me a drink? There's an idea. When a man puts women down, your attraction should shift down a notch. Buying a drink is a nice gesture when there's no strings attached. Don't go buying drinks, guys. It says, nice guys don't respect your boundaries. The nice guy doesn't do well with words like no, or not now, or some other time. They have an agenda. They want what they want, and they want it now. When a gal says not now, or some other time, or maybe another time, or maybe later, that means no. But a lot of guys don't get that. They seek your approval and validation and will cross your boundaries to get it, often with nice gestures. Like the guy who I told that I work from home, and he didn't have set hours. He took that as a free pass to stop over uninvited at random times. I talked about this, but it kept happening, though less often. Well, that's creepy as hell, some dude showing up randomly at your house. And some guys don't get this. It'd be like a chick you're dating randomly showing up at your house. None of us would like that. Again, bad guy. This is an example of a creepy guy. I'll be honest here. Other examples that she's been giving, they're good guys. They just are clueless and, have had a hard time. He stepped right over the boundary I set so he could get what he wanted, my attention and thus his validation. Yes, guys, men should never ever try to seek validation from women. That's what women do. Women seek validation from guys. It's literally like sunlight and water to a plant that can't function without it. But guys going around trying to get attention and get validation, that's ridiculous. No guy should do that. It can be little things. Maybe you go to the gym on a schedule and he thinks if he offers you a nice dinner, you should be willing to give that up. I mean, if you give it up, then he gets validation that he's more important, when there should be no competition in this area. Nice guys don't do well with rejection. They can even resort to putting or trying to guilt you. When a man doesn't respect your even smallest boundaries, he's going to cross your deal breakers boundaries without a second thought. She says, you'd rather wash your hair and take a bubble bath than see me. Well, that's what a guy may say. It's hard to be patient with this nice guy, let alone be attracted to him. Another one, she says, nice guys have misplaced values about sex. I saw a game show clip where the question was asked something like this. 100 single men were polled and asked how many S-word partners should a woman have before she marries. The top answer was 5. She says, oh, sweet Jesus. Sadly, in some fantasy world, most nice guys would agree to this answer. Well, only in La La Land, in a parallel universe, is any modern gal going to only have 5 partners before she gets married. Good freaking luck now today in our Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world. Other questions nice guy asks is to send your radar on a high alert. When was the last time you had you-know-what? How many men have you slept with? Have you ever had you-know-what with someone outside your race? How S-word experienced are you? I can't imagine any guy be dumb enough to ask these questions like on a first date. I mean, or let alone, but okay, it happens. She says, get ready, you're about to be judged. It's a no-win question. I had guys ask me all these questions on a first date. That immediately tells me 2 things. They're only interested in sex, and they're incredibly insecure about their own experience and abilities. Now, her describing this, about these types of questions, that's not just a nice guy. That is a clueless guy. That is a guy who's obviously got some freaking issues and social, no idea about boundaries and things like that, and manners. Asking those questions, get the hell out of here. But your typical nice guy, in my opinion, is not going to ask these questions. Come on here. I can think of some guys that know in my life were some of the most clueless morons I've ever known. And no, I'm not referring to me. That have done a lot of stupid things. Completely clueless. And these are the type of things those types would do. And believe me, in my opinion, they weren't nice guys. They were annoying guys. Maybe it's his nice guy syndrome that caused him to have fewer S-word partners than you, and he feels lame. When you tell them the truth and they think that number is high, they can't get past it. Well, nowadays, I'm sure the number is so high that would shock anyone, which is why the old joke, ask a gal how many dudes she's been with, and whatever number she gives you, multiply it times 3, because you're not getting the right answer. And ask any guy how many girls he's been with, and whatever it is, divide by 3, because he's going to lie through his freaking teeth. Nice guys expect you to uphold their expectations. They feel safer knowing you have less to compare them to. A good man doesn't ask these questions because he's confident in his ability to woo you with or without sex. If he's into you, he doesn't care. Next time you're asked these crazy questions, and your stomach turns, know you just met a nice guy. No, nice guys aren't going to ask these type of questions. Screwed up guys are going to ask these type of questions. If he judges you on your past or your S-word history, you shouldn't feel bad. You should feel turned off. A high-value woman won't feel the need to justify herself by answering these questions. Well, the age-old thing, be careful what you wish for, be careful with the questions that you ask and the answers that you get. But nice guys wouldn't be asking these questions. More like creepy guys. It's one thing if this woman becomes your girlfriend, but ask these questions on a first date. A woman with low self-worth will analyze these questions and stress over how to answer them. Another sign you have a nice guy with skewed S-word values is when he takes you out to dinner and drinks and expects sex in return, and acts out when he doesn't get it. He feels he's invested and now it's owed to him. He might not be above begging for sex either. Any guy that begs for that is out of his damn mind. No guy should ever beg for anything, let alone that. Now, yes, every guy... Let's be perfectly honest here. Every guy, whether it's her definition of a nice guy or a bad boy, they go on a date and they're having a good time. Of course, their mind is in the gutter. Of course, they want some action. Doesn't mean they're always going to get in the first date. Very unlikely, you know, for most guys. Some guys can pull it up, but most can't. But to think that guys aren't thinking this, get the hell out of here. You know, doesn't mean that he should be going around demanding it, in my opinion, but definitely it's on his mind, and certainly he'll take her up on that offer unless she's a complete train wreck. Just the same way as that, you know, fault guys for having that on their minds on a first date. This is how we are. Come on here. All guys. But we're not going to fault the gals that will more than happily accept a dinner invitation to some expensive restaurant from a guy who really likes her, but she has no interest in him whatsoever, and she's purely going out with him just to get a free meal. Now, that's why I tell you guys, first date, meet up for a drink. Keep it cheap. Get to know her. You'll know her. In minutes, you'll know whether you want to continue on seeing her if she's interested or not. It's cheap. Keep it cheap. Even on the second date, keep it cheap. Until she actually really likes you, and especially after maybe you've had some fun in the bedroom, then you can start investing in bigger, more expensive outings and so forth. But the guys that just... they'll spend hundreds of dollars to take a girl out for one dinner and they barely know her, and it's insane to me. But guys do it, and I have to refresh that all the time. A lot of you guys that watch me often know my opinion on the subject. I've done multiple videos on the subject, but I got to keep refreshers because I get new guys every day. But yeah, come on here. All guys are thinking this on the first date. You believe me, if she's good looking, they're thinking it. And they're not the devils for doing so. But it's a different ball game if they're actually like trying to demand it, or you know, there's a difference. I'm sure you guys, and you guys are half a brain, know what I'm talking about here. She says here, I went on a date with a guy who'd driven 2 hours to take me out. This dude drove 2 hours to take you out. Well, immediately right there, he is an idiot. He is low value. During dinner, he popped a pill. I asked him what it was, and with a smile and a wink, he said, it's Viagra. Again, not nice guy, creepy guy. What? I thought he just drove to take me to dinner and was going back home. Turns out he even rented a hotel room. When I told him SCX wasn't happening, he got angry. He tried to guilt me, saying he'd driven 2 hours, spent over $200 on dinner and a hotel room, and how could I tell him no? He would have been better off just hiring a professional. Drove 2 hours, $200 on dinner, the hotel room probably $300, depending on where he lives. It would have been cheaper to get a professional. This guy's a moron. And again, most nice guys, good guys, aren't going to do this. But the problem with this, women like this and these articles like this, is to assume that any guy that is a good guy that's not treating her like a lowlife, or a guy that's not acting like a lowlife, is going to do this. It's ridiculous. Most guys that are good guys or nice aren't going to do these things she talks about here. So essentially we all know what's going on here. She's just trying to justify why she dates guys that are lowlives. Putting the rest of the guys out there that treat people decently like human beings, but may have, lack of confidence, maybe be a little insecure, that the rest of the guys like that are a bunch of creeps, weirdos. He thought I owed him something. I felt more like a escort than his date. Then he went into his expectations of a relationship. What relationship? This was a first and only date. He listed things I should give and things he wanted me to give up, like wine, which he bought me at dinner. He didn't drink. I couldn't get out of there or block his number fast enough. Well, I don't blame her. But this isn't a nice guy. This is just a creep. Clueless idiot. A good man would have accepted my answer, no questions asked, and taken his happy ass back to the hotel room. Or really, a good man would have made such assumptions and rented a room in the first place. Yeah, that guy was a moron. She says, nice guys rush in. We've all experienced the man who comes on strong only to fade or disappear in a few weeks or a couple months. Well, maybe because he lost interest in you. They love bomb you. They want to see you constantly. They text you good morning, good night, and keep in constant contact. You begin to wonder if they have a life at all. Well, she makes a point there. And so for you dating relationship guys, if you're that guy that every morning has to send the girl you're dating that good morning thing, good morning beautiful, or have sweet dreams beautiful, you're a moron. Okay, don't do that. Let them reach out to you. Be busy. It's always better where the girl's wondering about you and what you're doing. But that guy that's always bombarding him with texts about good morning, princess, or whatever the hell these idiots write, it's going to turn them off. And so she's right here. Their self-pacing mechanism is non-existent. This man doesn't even know you yet. But he puts a need for your instant gratification above anything else. You think he wants a good woman, but he wants attention and validation of his worth. She's making a fair point. There are a lot of things that she says here is idiotic. This is why I'm doing the video. But I'm also doing this to show you some things that she mentions that she has some fair points on to help you guys out. He doesn't want a relationship. He doesn't want to put in the work. Time to get it. He jumps in, and when it doesn't look like his fantasy, he jumps right the back out. I'm blown away by how many women have stories of men talking, marriage, and babies within a few weeks of meeting. He's usually telling her what he thinks she wants to hear in hopes of getting what he wants. Then the fantasy fades, reality sets in, and he's gone. Never talk about marriage and babies and all that, guys. I'm sure most of you guys would not, for many different reasons, but guys do. If that's what you want, just shut up and let them bring it up. They will. She says, nice guys are pleasers. Yes, they are. Nice guys want to please you and often give up their own needs to do so. There's nothing wrong with wanting to please a woman. Yeah, there is. A good man wants to please a woman, but he isn't going to forsake himself to do so. Remember, guys, nice guys always put everybody else's needs first and his needs dead last. Bad boys or high-value guys put what their needs and wants first and everybody else's needs last. And the woman is the very bottom of importance. That's where you want to be. And notice that the guys that do that have the women chasing after them, and literally they can't fight them off with a stick. Nice guys expect appreciation for their pleasing efforts. Yes, we should know that men want to be appreciated and give that willingly, but the nice guy expects it and will make it known when he doesn't get to his satisfaction. Again, not all guys that are good guys or nice guys are going to act like this. So come on here. Stop putting all dudes that are the Chad and Tyrone types in a box and say that we all act that way. That's a bunch of crap. They overgive when you didn't ask them to, and then they get hurt when you don't go overboard in your appreciation. They overgive to create opportunities to get the approval and validation they so desperately want. It's funny hearing her talk about attention and validation, but knowing darn well that's what women do all the time. When a man makes his giving about him and not you, you just met a nice guy. It's normal for your attraction to drop a notch. A good man gives without expectations, and a high-value woman shows her appreciation without having to be asked because she feels safe to do so. Nice guys give, and they give a lot with an agenda and expectation attached in the form of validation. It says here, in the end, summing it up, it's okay not to be attracted to nice guys. Again, she's putting all guys that aren't Chad and Tyrone in a box and saying that we're all like this. That's nonsense. You aren't crazy not to be attracted to these so-called nice guys. It's normal. It's your gut screaming at you. Women with high self-worth learn to listen and to trust their intuition. But they don't trust their intuition when it comes to Chad and Tyrone that are going to do what Chad and Tyrone do. But at the end of the day, they take Chad and Tyrone over these guys, these creepy type of guys that she talks about here. If you ignore those red flags, you might get in too deep and then leaving before a difficult mess. It's exhausting trying to stand on the pedestal they put you on. Filling up their empty well isn't your job. When you recognize the difference between a nice guy and a good man, you won't feel the need to justify your lack of attraction. The more you get to know yourself and trust your intuition, the easier it will be to suss these guys out and leave them to the side of the road. So she keeps talking about the nice guy and good man, but let's be honest here. She's, like I said in the beginning, she's putting all these guys in a box. They're not Chad and Tyrone, they're a nice guy and do all that. And I think at the end of the day, she's justifying the fact that she obviously likes bad boys. But like I said throughout this video, she makes some fair points. And I will always give credit where credit's due, because a lot of you guys do dating and relationships. And I say that, I always tell you guys, never take dating and pick up on whatever advice from women, because by and large, most don't know what the hell they're talking about, and that is true. But occasionally you'll meet some that have some inkling, some clues, and she had a few things to point out here, so I will admit those, some of those things. So some of those things she says, you know, that really scare them away, don't do. But again, at the end of the day, I think she's justifying her, obviously, how she's drawn to the bad boy types, you know. So good one to go over, guys. That'll be a good one here because, again, you're hearing from their perspective, the mindset there, you know. And at the end of the day, it's better to act more like Chad and Tyrone than the creepy Neils. The Neils and Jeans of the world. I'm picking names here. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, guys. Have you heard stories about dudes that you've known that have done some of these things that she described that were obviously way out there? I'd like to hear about it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.